Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Recruit Week conversation with Director of Operations of College Bound Jocks, Brian Chidester. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's just jump right in. Tell us a little bit about what CBJ does, how it all got started, and what's on deck for the fall.
Well, so it's a long story. CBJ has been going on for about 20 years now, really. I started doing skills videos, originally helping out my own kids. I actually made national TV commercials for a living. It's kind of how this all started. I was very uh, well versed in producing video. And as I started researching, getting recruited for my kids, it was all about video. You know, coaches wanted to see video. If it was baseball, softball, it's going to be more of a skills video. If it was football, like my oldest boy was football, they'd want to see game films. So when it was for my oldest son, I put together a highlight reel that would look like ESPN made it. So, but we sent that out. I got a lot of compliments from college coaches, like how well done it was, and then I worked on my other kids, and then from there it was just like helping friends of theirs and their friends, and it just kind of grew into a business. And eventually, even though I made national TV commercials, I had 2 Super Bowl commercials in my career. It just seemed to be a lot more rewarding helping these kids get to another level. You know, when I started getting kids into Harvard and, Princeton, you're like, man, you're like changing lives. It's like, as cool as TV commercials are, you're never really changing anyone's life. So at that point, we decided, this is a cool gig. I really enjoy doing it. So that's when we started CBJ and started helping out kids full time.
That's awesome. So when was about the last time that you went through the recruiting process yourself with one of your kids?
Geez, 2000, 2012, I guess. I mean, my daughter actually got recruited in Michigan, and she started at Michigan in 2012. And that was the last one I helped that were one of my own kids. I had 3 kids that all played at college level, one D2, D1, D2, and D3. So I went through all processes with all the different divisions. And then, of course, we've done almost 2,000 softball videos since then.
Super cool. On that note, 2,000 videos is obviously a ton, spanning a lot of that that time from 2012. What is the biggest change you've seen in recruiting videos from then to now?
Quality of the video be one. I mean, originally we were doing things just putting them out on VHS tapes. I mean, my son's football videos, we made copies on VHS, and we're mailing them to college coaches. Then it went to DVDs pretty quickly after that. And then after that, we actually started our first website. We're on our 3rd version of our website now, but our first version, and we would just upload the videos to the website. So that's probably been the biggest change in recruiting in general, is the internet, because now coaches can get videos from players all over the country. Before the internet, recruiting was much more regional, like players at Michigan, most, especially like in football and stuff, most of the players are going to be Midwest players, because that's where coaches had to be able to go out to see them and get a good idea. And then now that the internet, you get video from all over the place. So it's a lot easier to recruit guys all over the country. And same with, softball players now. So internet has definitely changed the way recruiting is done.
Definitely. So let's backtrack a little bit. I am a new 14U, 16U athlete. I've seen lots of clips on Twitter and social media. Let's talk about, like, why do I need a recruiting video over maybe something of just putting clips up on Twitter? What sets apart a recruiting video from something like that?
That's a great question. So the biggest reason you want to get a recruiting video done is because coaches want to see reps. I mean, if you're just putting video clips up from your game, it's like, all right, I get to see, one swing and, oh, yep, you hit a bomb, or, oh, yeah, I hit a double, or, you got an RBI there. but they don't always know the caliber of the talent you're playing. I mean, this pitcher might be throwing a ball that's coming in like this, and or hey, I mean, face it, everybody, even if you're facing a good pitcher, sometimes they'll leave it fat over the plate, and hey, you took advantage of that one. So they don't really get to see a lot of your swing, or rarely do people put clips up on defensive plays because of where you're shooting from. If you're at shortstop or in the outfield, it's just so far away to really get the impact of, hey, that was a cool diving catch. I mean, you can kind of see it, but as far as the coach is concerned, it's really not going to be that great. So for us, we're showing all the best angles and we're showing several of them. So you get to see a really good analysis of the kid's swing from different angles. And then of course on defense, we're not just shooting from back behind the plate. I mean, I'm getting right up close to these kids so coaches can really see their fundamentals on ground balls, how they're turning double plays. If you're on the infield, if it's fly balls, we're out there in the outfield with them, making sure that coaches can see it. So it's really giving coaches a good idea of what this player's fundamentals are. The biggest thing too that coaches have always said about the CBJ videos that they like most about our videos that you don't get in other videos is that we have on-screen measurables for everything. So if you're getting your exit velocity, that's going to be on screen. There's no hocus pocus. It's right there when it happens. Coaches can see it, and there's no, it's not a matter of, oh, the kid hit a ball and then all of a sudden the radar gun comes into the screen. It's like, that's not what happens. It's right there. When the player runs home to first, we've got their actual speeds on the screen. So you can actually see the counter going and you see everything there. Pitching velocities, everything is on the screen when it happens. So coaches get a good idea. We don't mess with that stuff. It's legit. Everything's, from radar guns. So overhand arm speed, it's right there. It's on the camera when it happens, so coaches can see it. So everything that we do, they can trust. And we've built a big trust factor up with college coaches over the last 10 years that they know that that's just the way we roll. So I'm not changing anything. Everything is the way it should be. I encourage coaches, if they see a video of ours and that kid's like, wow, that's really fast, go ahead and get your stopwatch out and watch the video and do it. You'll see it's right there. So anyway, that's the big difference too with us, is that we're going to make sure that A, not only does it look great, but B, everything a coach needs is right there. Like, again, when you're just showing clips on Twitter or whatever, you're not getting those kind of measurables. It's not giving the coach a lot of information. Yeah, it's a cool highlight, but coaches want data, and that's what you're going to get with that.
No, that's awesome. So let's jump in to talk about the CBJ process. You kind of touched on it a lot there nicely, but take me through. So I am Cindy Lou, and I'm coming to CBJ for a recruiting video. What is my experience going to look like? How does this process work?
Okay. Well, the biggest thing for us is that, first of all, we definitely, I mean, I'm a dad. My daughter plays on the U.S. Olympic team. I'm really into softball, and I want to make sure everybody has as great of experience at this as my kid had. So we take everybody as an individual, and this is not a factory process. We're not getting 50 kids out of the field at one time where we run them through an assembly line. You're going to get 10 ground balls. You're going to get 10 ground balls. You're going to get 10 fly balls, and then we're done. It doesn't work that way. When we bring kids to the field, we never shoot more than 4 at a time, and it's a movie production. And we're going to make sure that we get as many takes as we need to make that kid look the best they can. And a lot of times there's a lot of coaching going on. I mean, I've known this game, I've coached this game and watched this game in person all over the world with coaches at the highest level. And I know what coaches need to see. And so a lot of times we're going to help kids through that process. Like, if, the first thing I'm going to ask them is like, okay, we're turning double plays. Show me how to do that before I even record a frame, and I'll see what they do. And it's like, try it this way, and I'll give kids pointers on, hey, I want to see you do it more like this. And there's times where maybe the kid's struggling a little at the plate, and we'll make a small adjustment. I try not to do too much of that kind of stuff because they don't want to get in their head. But if there's just something small that we can say, hey, this might be better if you try this. And a lot of times we get good results. So we're working with that player. Again, when, say, for example, we're at third base and we're hitting ground balls at them, and we're going to work backhands right now. I want to see backhands. The glove work might be great, but the throw is a little off. And it's like, you know what? I know you've got it in you. Let's do another take. And I want to see that throw more here, So it's all a matter of making that player look the best they can, because that's what I want to show college coaches. Not that there's nothing on a video that we did that has special effects. And it's like, yeah, the kid didn't really do that. They absolutely did it. And it's just a matter of, did they do it every single time? No, but you know what? Derek Jeter's not perfect every time either. So it's just a matter of, I want to show coaches what that player is capable of, and they can really see their fundamentals. And that's what it's about. So we shoot for quite a while. I'm usually shoot about an hour worth of footage per player, but that all gets culled down to just like 5 minutes worth of video for a college coach to look at. And it's just a matter of, we want to show everybody their best. And then, the idea behind it is, like I say to everybody, go, look, the video is your resume, and we're going to send that resume out to as many college coaches as we can in the geographic area that kid's comfortable with. And then we want to send it to the coaches that we believe that player has a good shot at being recruited at. That's the other thing. That's my mindset. I'm producing a television commercial for every one of these kids, and we're making sure that, you're trying to sell yourself to college coaches. I want to make sure that it's the best product you can have. And unfortunately, like a lot of people, it's like, oh, I got a guy that can shoot the video, right? And I've seen this a million times. So they've got some wedding video guy out there. Well, the thing that makes us really unique is that I have all the video background experience of a serious professional, and then I have all the softball experience as well. So for us, we're putting the two together. I know what looks good. I know what doesn't look good. If you're using Joe Blow video, wedding photography, nothing against wedding photographers, but if they don't know softball, they're not going to know what coaches are looking for. And like, I've looked at some kids' skills videos. One of the best players we have on our site right now, they came to us and said, we have a video. Can we just have you help with the marketing? Well, let me look at the video and we'll see. So I looked at the video. The very first hit on her video was a pop-up. I'm like, is that what you want to show coaches? I mean, I played the video. I go, where did that ball go? She goes, it was a pop-up. I go, is that what you want? So you want to make sure things look good. And so, of course, we ended up redoing her video, and she looks great. I mean, she is a phenomenal player, but that's the problem. It's like, here's a kid who's so good. She's a Power 5 all day long. And yet, her video didn't really convey that, the one that she had. So the one that she has now definitely does, because it's got all the measurables on there and coaches can really see how good she is. So yeah, sometimes you got to make sure that when somebody's doing your video, you got to make sure that they know what they're doing.
So Brian, that brings up a really interesting point about quality of recruiting videos. And I know from working with coaches of my own, they have hundreds of recruiting videos and emails that hit their boxes every single week. So from your experience, how long do you have to make an impression on a coach? And could something like a bad first swing, like the video you just mentioned, could that be it? Like, will coaches keep watching, or is there a chance that they're done on to the next?
Great question. And yes, that's a big issue, is how the video is laid out. Like, for example, yeah, if coaches know what they're looking for, I mean, they get it. They know what a good swing looks like. They know what they're looking for. So we're going to make sure that what we do is we shoot, when it's all, our videos are all edited down. They're about 4 minutes long, but then we go through the video and we take the best clips of that 4 minutes and we put them up front. So the first 1 minute is the best of the best. And we're hoping, we call that the highlights, and we're hoping that that's going to catch the coach's attention to where, look, if we can get them to watch a minute, I will tell you, coaches will watch the first maybe 20 seconds. And if you haven't caught their eye or their interest in that, you've lost them. They're going to move on to the next one. We're giving them the first minute of each a little bit of the hitting, a little bit of fielding, and then hopefully they'll keep their interest for that first minute to where they're going to go, this kid looks pretty good. I'll watch the rest of the video, and we get through it. But that's our idea behind it. So that's a great question. It's definitely important to get the coach's attention right away. So you want to put your best stuff up front.
Definitely. And on that note too, so I get asked this question a lot from people around me in the softball community up here in Minnesota. How often do I need to update my video? Do I need more than one? Every athlete's different, but what's your take on that?
I'll be honest, when we started in doing this stuff, I still to this day get a lot of feedback from coaches, but college coaches drove our decisions, almost all this stuff, because when we first started, we didn't do, we did one video and we figured that was good, but coaches were coming to us and saying, I want to see where's that kid at now, because that video shot last year, and hey, I like what I see, but where are they at now? Because some kids everybody should be getting better, but some kids do decline. I've had a handful of kids where it's like, look, if you're not working hard at your game, you're going to go down, and coaches want to know that too, right? So our recommendation is to update the video once a year. I've had, like, just recently, I had someone contact me in the last 2 days whose video we did in June. And I'm like, I don't know that you're really going to have improved that much in the last 3 or 4 months to want to redo another one already. I would still, sometimes pitchers or something will get in with a new coach and their mechanics have changed and they saw a quick dramatic uptick, and it's like, okay, that's something that's kind of, you want to put that out there. And I would just do like a pitching section. You don't have to redo everything. Just do that little pitching section over again. But normally I would say it's like a year. Every year you should be updating it. And then throughout that, it's like you've got your skills video, and then you want to pepper in all the little highlights that you had from AGL or wherever, that you can take those clips and say, here's what I'm all about, and here's the results of that, so you can see the clips from the games. And between those two things, coaches can start to paint a little bit of a picture. And the whole idea behind this too is, like, I am not for 1 second implying that coaches are going to recruit kids just based on the video. The whole idea is for, like I said, it's an interview process. It's a resume, get your foot in the door so they can come see you play. That's the name of the game, is the video, because as you just said, coaches are getting hundreds of these a day for some schools. And it's like, okay, well, how do you pick this kid versus this kid, or this kid versus this kid? If they were all just emails, you'd have no idea who to go look at. And that's why the video is so critical. That way they can look at the video and go, that kid is somebody I want to go see. This kid, no, this kid, no, this kid. There's a whole lot more no's than there are yeses. So you want to make sure that, hopefully you're one of the, I want to go see this kid play. They get your schedule, they come see you play, or they invite you to a camp. I'm a big person on camp. I love kids going to camps, going to college camps, because you get there, you get some one-on-one with the coach. I'm a bigger fan of going to the college itself and go to their camp. That way, you get a feel for the campus, you get to talk with the coach one-on-one, and those things go really well. So that's the two ways. Either going to come see you at a tournament or go to your camp, and both ways are good.
So Brian, why should families and student athletes use CBJ for their recruiting video services and needs through the recruiting process?
There's a lot of different reasons that, families choose us. I will tell you people right up front, we're not the cheapest option out there, but we're definitely the best option out there. The quality of video you're going to get from us is like no other. I think that's probably the biggest selling points for CBJ, is that we care about the kids, and I'm here to help them.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for joining us. Amazing information. And if people are interested in learning more, where can they do that, and how do they get in touch?
Just check out collegeboundjocks.com. If they want to, call the office, it's 313-995-0863. But definitely check out the website, and there's plenty of information there for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.